this is Dio here again, like another time. I said I was going to start a journal, but I never did. And I remind myself that how like I can't remember everything that seems to happen over the past week. It's like I just remember odd moments at odd times in weirdest of places. Like literally my last week has been a blank. And I don't have anything of note of like interest in my head, as if my head has been like completely empty. But anyway, we'll go back to our usual programming of like what I learned from Seneca's letters. And we'll be looking at letters 7, 8, 9, and 11. The numbering is weird. I don't know for it, Jerry. And also the Daily Stoic. And as usual, I haven't opened the material that I want to look at. I should do that right now. So, letter 7. He basically talks about avoiding the mass crowd, and I also wanted to like go into a tangent about like mob thinking, and like I wanted to ask somebody, but like I don't think I'll be able to ask somebody. Like, have you ever been like in a mob situation where like after you were part of a situation where somebody was condemned, their life ruined, they were humiliated, but like you weren't the leader of the mob or anything, you were just like in that situation? Because I know I definitely have definitely been in that situation. I just can't recall. And that's the thing about mobs, is that you've already finished ruining the person's life. Like you don't even remember like why or what the person even did concept. Like you don't even remember the situation. But like I know that I definitely like maybe like my upbringing and everything has made me not be part of a mob to the extent where like, okay, if somebody's getting murdered, I will stand there and watch and that kind of stuff. No, I know like I have never, even when that has been happening around me, that I have never participated or even thought of participating in like beating up somebody. But there's the amount of mob mentality that I'm still subject to is, I think, being present or being like, even that I've been able to quell that emotion like of recent, maybe because I think the personal rule I made to myself when I started using the internet of never commenting on anything until after I've thought, like it was a rule that I didn't think about, like decide that okay, this is something I'm going to implement. It was just something, maybe I was too shy to comment, but like I was always like, I was never going to comment on something until after I thought about it seriously. After I thought about it seriously, and the one place I ever commented was, I don't even remember the plot of the story, but it seemed like very deep and cool to me. It was Darkness Girl, Trickster God on Wattpad, and dude like replied back, and I'm like, oh my god, I literally just pretended as if I did not see it for the last how many years. It was literally the creepiest thing. Like, I was like, you just don't expect people to reply to your comments, and I was like, no, I'm never commenting on anything. It's like, it was like from that like long time ago when I joined the internet. I joined the internet at 15 because, well, common sense. Nobody like in middle class Nigeria had internet till like, I don't know, like, okay, I'd say nobody in middle class Nigeria, because people in the upper middle class and whatever had internet, but like nobody in middle class in Nigeria had internet until like, I don't know, 2000. Like they had internet in their offices and their whatever, but like they didn't give their children phones. Their children were using why am I talking as if like international is it, I wanted to say viewership, international listenership. It's not really a goal, but like to vibe with anybody who's considered this serious. Anyways, we're talking about like mob mentality, and I was like, I definitely have been in a situation where I have probably participated in the humiliation of somebody, but I don't remember. And that's the thing about being in a mob, you don't remember because you don't actually care about the person involved, you don't actually care about the situation. It's just the excitement of like being in that area. And Seneca kept on being like, it's funny how I don't know, maybe didn't say it's funny how, I'm the one like interpreted it as, it's funny how the more you hang out with humans, the less humane you are. And it's like, not really, because sometimes like when you're in a large, it's like I've noticed the thing about the crowd. When we are like so many and we're like in a large group, we act like one body of thoughts, and it's like really cool and really scary at the same time, because you will have been part of an atrocity before you even think about the effects of your actions, what you plan to do, and all that. Oh my god, I'm new to this whole thing. Why I was saying deleted, so like a whole tangent of 3 minutes deleted. I stopped at where I was like, I definitely probably I repeated it again, but like definitely has having part of a mob that like felt it was right to humiliate somebody. And I also went off on a tangent on how like I made a promise to myself, like unconscious promise to myself, that I wouldn't just comment on something like or react to anything via the internet, especially if I felt like very what's the word, very emotional about it. And given the fact that I wasn't really much of a Twitter user, I was always freaked out that I'd ruined my life via Twitter. I didn't go around just typing what I felt. I don't know, you could probably check my Twitter history. You probably see stuff like every other human being. But like, I sat down and I realized that there's no way you've been part of a system and opportunity that has like ruined people's joy, ruined people's whatever. You were just part of it because the energy was just high. But then again, another reason why the amount of mobs I've been part of may not be so many, because I had this whole I'm not like everybody else like face, and it wasn't other girls, it was like everybody else. I felt like everybody my age was trash, but like it's not that everybody my age was trash, but like my basic truth now is not that everybody my age is trash, it's that every human being is trash, myself inclusive. Which is like, I don't know, maybe better. Then Seneca goes on to complain about people at the gladiator ring, and he's like, yeah, sure, like he's a murderer and stuff, but like, what makes you, if you're inciting, like, why do you want to watch his blood? Why do you want to make, like, you're basically using the excuse that he killed somebody just to be a murderer and to not be like on your hands. And then letter 8, I won't say, I to be honest, I don't think that letter had much to offer. I just feel like he was basically defending his statements from the previous letter to his young students. But like, I'll try and go off on like more tangents, because I don't know, I'm like getting shaky and getting like getting at that part where I get irresponsible and sort of give up. Anyway, then God Almighty, I should pause this for now. So on to letter 9. I do not feel as if like letter 9, I really like letter 9 because he basically talks about like this cynic's statement about how a wise man doesn't need any friends, he's content in his own company. And I think I read somewhere that Seneca basically agreed with a lot of stuff the cynic said, but he did not, like, he thought they were too extreme. Generally, like, they're just too extra. Like, you know how he always he complains that like, don't dress raggedy ass or like dead just because you're trying to prove a point or whatever. Like, it's not that hard. But I agree with Seneca that while like this whole being on your own, having your own thought process is admirable, I don't think you shouldn't need friends to be happy, but you should want friends because you want to create a support system. Like the whole statement of if you want to be loved, love. And you should make like, and I'm like, first, this is coming from after the whole mob mentality, interacting with people, but that's like interacting with a lot of people at once. Like, yes, people are trash, and people are always like, yes, you should make friends with people that want to be better, but the people that are better want to be friends with you. That's the one. Now I'm finally getting an opportunity to go off on a tangent. Like, That's the one thing that bothered me. Like, it's that bothered me about religious teachings or whatever teachings, or whenever they try to tell you to study hard, they'll be like, always look for the brilliant kids. Do the brilliant kids want to be friends with you? Because as sure as hell, like, okay, obviously they might be like, the brilliant kids might be patronizing and be like, oh, this person wants to be like part of us, and you get like wacky sidekick positions like in their group and whatever, and like tiny microaggressions of how you're stupid. Basically, it shows that I'm speaking for experience, not experience of wanting to be part of the brilliant kid, but for being an asshole brilliant kid. But like, people need to realize, and the whole show me who your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Like, sometimes people are friends with like flaming piles of garbage because they just want to watch everything burn. And I wouldn't even call that like a friendship. It's more like, oh, it's an experiment for your amusement. But in the end, like, there's just this thing about social interaction that just makes it warmer. But like, but if you don't see your friends for like years and whatever, you should be able to live a happy, content life. But like, that shouldn't stop you from like vibing with people. Like, you should vibe with people, because they will add, especially people that will add things to your life, and that adding stuff might not necessarily be like an upward adding, like academically or whatever. It's just, they just make you happy. And I think that's basically about like the whole friendship tangent. I guess I'm getting less interesting. Like, I'm way more interested. Maybe I should get like a random voice note of me pointing out stuff out of my head, stuff that I'm just thinking about, stuff I'm angry about, and just go off. Like, maybe like voice notes in the moment. But like, this is big. But or should I like start going into like topics by topics and thinking about things, then like presenting my thought about stuff. Well, that will be it for like the statement that is, a wise man should be content with himself, he needs no friend, which is total bullshit. Like, you might not need someone, but like, you should want somebody. If you don't want them, that's fine too. There's like a side note. It wasn't really like the entire structure of the like story. It was the letter, but like, there's something that really like made me understand that this was written in like ancient times. It was like, one's physical makeup and the attributes that were one's lot at birth remain settled, no matter how much and how long the personality may strive after perfect adjustments. Now, that does not in any way, shape, or form apply to modern life, in like, especially in the era of makeup and plastic surgery. Like, it does not, like, at all. Like, you don't have to stay ugly in a sense. And I think, like I said, like so many of them, because I think I'm eventually going to speak about like beauty and beauty standards. Like, standards are rules that people want to abide by. If you don't currently meet up with like society's current standard, you have to decide your own standards and how you're going to live according to them. Now, if you decide to change your entire face, that's up to you. But it should never like become a complex. Which is like my own addition to something I don't feel is captured, because this was written so long ago, where people could not literally break their nose and build a new one, or like bleach their skin white to fit whatever standard they feel they are pressured into doing. Because I noticed this thing about a lot of people. They're always like, oh, society has this particular standard, but you're part of society, as I always say. But like, everybody's particular standard is slightly different. Like, somebody, like, especially like noses, for example, somebody's ideal nose can be completely different from the other person's ideal nose. Then what is considered standard for, let's say, like their job or whatever, might not be standard to somebody else walking on the road. But like, that's the tangent, because I don't feel like stoicism will capture like the idea that plastic surgery exists and you can literally change what you entirely look like, and like, I don't think they understand that plastic surgery and aggressive, I won't even call it skincare, skin damage, controlled damage to body parts to fit an aesthetic is a thing. But like, I really want to sit down and talk about aesthetics, but I don't think like I've gotten to like I formulated my thoughts like on how I will approach an issue or a topic or whatever completely. Like once I have like a proper audit guideline, I like the word, like a proper guideline to direct how I will approach / attack an issue, I want to talk about beauty. Because to be honest, let's not deny it, I wouldn't say everybody is beautiful, but the thing is that beauty truly, like before I used to be like, that whole beauty is in the eye of the beholder is just bullshit. But like beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder, because everybody's standard, even when you grow up together, you live together, you're exposed to the same media, everybody's standards are slightly different. In my own opinion, I think people should have vastly different standards. That way we understand that way nobody will be truly ugly when standards are not unified. I don't think beauty standards should be unified. That will marginalize so many people if societies have one strict properly outlined beauty standard. That is like a very scary idea. So I'm like, that's like the basic foundation of my thought process about beauty in general. But like, enough of that tangents. That's the end of this short section. I want to talk about, like, we are basically at this point, this is going to be choppy and weird because now we've reached like a different point. I want to talk about, we've got January 4th entering the Daily Stoic, because I don't think I'll be going through like every single chapter of the Daily Stoic, every single like only the ones that speak to me, because if I just go through like every single chapter, you might as well not buy the book. So basically, let's start. All you need are the certainty of judgments in the present moment, action for the common good in the present moment, and attitude of gratitude in the present moment for anything that comes your way. And that is something that I feel like especially since it was Marcus Aurelius that wrote this. He wasn't like a philosopher. I think he was actually a ruler who had stuff to do. So he wasn't just sitting around thinking and telling people his idea. He had like a real job. I should Google that. I'm just like saying what I remember from William's book, Living the Good Life or something about stoicism or whatever. But like it's something that even though it gives a narrow, like it has this whole 10 commandment vibe, but like I need to understand, like it gives this whole like it defines the scope of where reality should be. Like it gives a suggestion to define where the scope of reality should be. Like yes, you should have long-term goals. Yes, you should want to like do something big. You should want to do something big, but you should know that you don't know tomorrow. You should know that you don't know tomorrow, and decide that this is what you are doing, this is what you are doing, and just like vibe in the current moments. I'm just not vibing today, am I? I'm going to attempt an experiment of adding on a person. So like, Uncle, don't disappoint me, but you probably will, because like I don't know, enjoy internet. Again. Yeah. So what I was saying was, have you ever been like a mob? Because Seneca was basically like, first thing you should do is you should avoid a crowd.
Okay.
And have you ever had a situation where you are in a mob, like, how do I put it? Your opinions were not your own, in a sense, because you were surrounded by so many people that wanted a particular thing, and you just like joined in.
Yeah, kind of.
Can you hear?
I can hear you. Kind of.
Like, and one thing is, can you remember like the exact thing that happened? Like, what exactly made you think like that? Like, what exactly the situation was?
Yeah, I can.
So give us an example. Tell us the story.
Oh, we started. Okay. So I was at the place where I worked past 3 months now. They weren't paying. Like they hadn't paid for 3 months. So me and my colleagues, we all bunched together to meet the director. And it wasn't exactly what I would have wanted to say, but the situation was actually quite bad. So yeah. So we talked. We said some things. Yeah, some things to the directors.
And like, what was like the result of that situation?
Oh yeah. We were let's see, we were turned down. Like it was like we didn't pass through the appropriate channels. Like we were meant to go through this person, that person. But we didn't do that because every time we asked, we didn't get good responses and stuff.
So like there was no way for you guys to just be like, fuck it, nobody's coming to work again.
Well, that's the thing. When they're owing you like a lot of money. Like, you have to fight for it.
But I don't think you'd consider that a mob because it's like 5 people. I was talking about something more like, okay,
like a protest.
Like what? Yeah, not like a protest or like being around so many people, like just like repeating a sentiment. Like a sentiment that you never really like sat down to think about it yourself. You just repeated it.
Oh, no, I can't think of any one like that. Can you give me
But
an example? Have you ever been in a mob?
Okay, let me give you an example of, let's say, when I was in boarding school. Like I don't think I've ever participated in one where like you mobbed up to beat up somebody, that kind of stuff. But like saying that this person is deserving of punishment. Do you get?
Deserving of punishment. I think I'm like
exaggerated, like you know how a normal mob is,
like
burn the thief.
when someone steals from the markets.
Yeah.
Like when a young guy steals Gary.
Yes.
Okay.
Like you on a normal day would not ever think that let's burn the thief. You're just going to think, okay, like arrest this person. But like you on a normal day would not think burn this person. Like, but not as severe as that, because I think like most people, especially most people that have been like sheltered to an extent, are not going to like burn the thief.
Okay.
But like something in that big, but killing somebody.
If you look at your example, there's a thief, right? He stole. Let's say he stole Gary. I don't know why I like that example. Let's say he stole Gary now. Someone starts that thing, and why do you assume that they are actually not all feeling that same emotion? Like, so it's possible that in every case of jungle justice, that's actually what they want to do. Or possibly just because they're in a mob, it empowers them to think like that. But don't you think sometimes people actually want to do these things?
I know, but like they don't want to murder a thief. They want to murder someone in their fantasy. And being in a mob is just an excuse to murder someone. Something that their common sense will tell them not to do because you get caught. But now that they're in a mob and there's like the option of murdering somebody, they're inflaming it because who are you going to catch? Do you get?
I get. I've actually
sometimes
thought about what they think when they burn people. I don't know if they think that I don't know if it's by they can get away with it. I usually think it's that they're just angry because they've been in similar situations, they've lost a lot of things, and they're trying to express their repressed anger.
But like, if they were alone and they experienced that situation, would they have burned the person? Like, let's say not like 5 people, not like 100 people. I'm talking like 3 people. They have the opportunity to overpower the thief. I don't think 3 people catching that thief alive. Like, burning people has to be like a mob.
Well,
Do you get like what? The most 3 people beat the person, then hand them over to the police. But the whole burning of people is when there are so many. I hope this is not disconnecting again. Can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I think there's like a lag between when I talk and when. Anyways, so I was saying something now. I lost my train of thought.
About like, I was talking about like murdering somebody versus beating up somebody because the population is larger.
Yeah. So the thing is, have you ever been where they are beating up a thief before? I've actually never been there, so I want to ask how it actually happens. Have you ever been there?
They cut the thief
Have you ever
face. Like, I've seen videos. I've seen videos of 2 or 3 guys.
Not like
when they catch.
Like from the onset, not while it's already going on. Do you get what I'm saying?
Like, literally, yeah, a video.
Yeah, that's
not while it's going on.
Okay. So what happens? Can you describe what happened?
They literally, like, let's say it's just 3 guys in the situation. They literally just grabbed after they catch the person, they beat the person up and their face is swollen, and that is the end. Then they drag them to the police station. But once I just see like 50 people, like 100 people, like, I just thought, okay, this person is going to be burnt alive.
Okay. Well, so what does what's his name say about mob mentality?
No, he doesn't really say anything. It's just like avoid a crowd, because the more you're around a lot of people don't like listen to like reason. The more they are, because the moment somebody says some bullshit, some violent bullshit, you won't even understand how you're like, yeah, let's do that. That's a great idea. That is not a great idea. That is never a great idea. But because you have so many people agreeing with you, even inflamed with the idea that that's a great idea. He was using gladiator matches as an example. Why people are complaining how, like, it shows how it's the right thing. How people are complaining how, like, this guy is not even fighting the lion well. Like, can't he just why is he so afraid of death? Blah blah blah. And you not ask them, why do you want to see this guy blood rain from the sky? And their simple answer is he killed a guy. And I just interpreted like his own answer to what they said. Like, you basically want to kill this guy, but like, you're doing it legally because like nobody can judge you for demanding his death because you're demanding the death of a murderer. Either way, you want to kill somebody, whether or not it's justified.
Okay.
You want to enjoy the person.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying, but do you have what would you say what would you say the problem really is? You said we have these you said they're trying to express their own personal fantasies of killing or let's say facilitate.
I think the person that starts it is the one with the capacity to kill somebody.
The person that starts it.
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen these current situations, like black people in America, where this random person would threaten you as a black person that, okay, I have you on camera and I'm going to call the police and make all these false accusations. Do you know about the Emily Cooper incident?
No, I don't. What's he about?
All right. So there's this black guy. He was taking a walk in the park, and this white lady was with her dog, and she was
I've
she was
seen many.
distracted. You've seen that? Did you see that one?
I didn't see that particular one, but there are so many.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them when she goes, like she's saying he's trying to rape her or whatever.
Yeah. And like just she knows that if she says the right words, like she can incite, she can make the police be brutal against the guy. So she's starting something like that. Is that the same kind of? Would you class that the same way as the person starting the would I say the jungle justice or the
Yeah, because that's what she's hoping for. She's hoping to start jungle justice, and those other people that are like going to join her and somebody, they are not even thinking like about the situation thoroughly. They just like they just want to believe this person because they were going to attack him anyway. Do you get?
And then original or the person's original statement or the person's original claim becomes their justification for the actions that they are carrying out. Okay.
Yes.
So, in a case of these things, would you blame the person that incites it, or the people that carry out the violence, or does everybody have some piece? Sorry, talk.
I think like the person that starts it is the major blame, but people that participate are also to blame, because I think like, how do I put it? There's a way you can limit the influence the mob has on you. I think the highest I've done is like be around like a coalition to humiliate somebody, and I don't even remember what exactly happened, but I know I've probably been like in a mob where somebody was probably being bullied. I wasn't participating, but I was sitting there on my bed being like, that bitch probably deserved it. Do you get?
I don't really get. Can you explain that example? An only girl,
okay. An only girl, like an only girl, and a junior is being bullied, and I'm like, I'm not like hounding the girl or whatever, but I'm on my hearing the story, and I'm like, they should. You get?
But you weren't participating. You just.
No, but I was condoning the action, which basically makes me part of the mob.
Are you still there?
Get? The people who are part of the let's burn, not everybody's going to participate. Okay, like the people who are burning the guy, people who are like part of the mob standing around, they are not what they call it. They are not going to. What's the word? They are not the one pouring kerosene. Not all of them are pouring kerosene on the guy, but like by standing there, they are condoning the action. I can hear you. Can you continue? Hello? I don't think Anchor is ready to like properly say, or maybe like all of us have trashy network. Hello? Is it reconnecting? Because it's showing that I'm connected to you. Should I start? Because we recorded like 15 minutes. Let me start again. So what I was saying about the mob stuff is basically, because I'm probably going to go and look for like another opportunity to record this, but what I was saying about the mob stuff, like just being there is condoning the action.
Okay, so you're saying that you being there, but you're on your bed, according to what you said. So
yeah, but somebody was telling me this gist about getting bullied, and I was like, yeah, she sort of deserves it.
Okay.
So like, even though I don't know participate, like just being around and be like, and not being like that is uncalled for. That basically makes me part of the mob, and that's like a situation I can remember, because like every like human being has probably, like, how do I put it, unknowingly like added a voice to an already booming crowd.
What makes you think so?
Because how do I put it? In situations whereby like it's just fun to be there, like even when like you don't actually care about this situation, it literally is just fun to watch it unfold because you're treating like the whole mob behavior as part of your entertainment. This one is not, it's not that you're even part of the mob. Yeah, this one you're like you're almost at the same level as the instigator because you know it's completely wrong. You would not participate, but you think it's funny to watch it unfold. But it's usually like nothing like serious case, like somebody getting beat up or murdered. It's going to be somebody getting like ostracized or that kind of thing.
Someone getting occupied. Okay. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like especially if it's like it's none of your business, it's not your friend group. Whether or not they remove the person from the friend group, it doesn't like affect you because it's not your friend group. It's somebody else's friend group and you're watching it like unfold.
Okay. But in that kind of situation, like even protesting, like speaking up for the person being ostracized or the person being hurt, it might not really even be your own place, and you might
Yeah,
just be minding your business.
I know, but those are like in minor cases. In serious cases, you can stop somebody from getting killed by just going to call the police.
Okay. So, what's the what can we learn from this mob behavior, and what can we learn from
I
it?
can learn. Yeah, I learned that this requires like a much longer time to think about because we don't really exactly like with the conversations we had at the beginning. We don't even really exactly know the motivations of the mob.
But why did Seneca say avoid it? Is it because it's just pure madness, or
Yeah, because you lose yourself in the crowd. That's like his own opinion. But like in my own opinion, if something is just so bullshit to you to an extent, like no matter how many people are hammering it in your head, you won't like it won't like what's the word get into your head because it's like it's just bullshit. Like I'm never going to be for the burning of the thief because I already know that that's just fucking bullshit. But like I might be like okay, 15-year-old me right now, probably not. I think there are very few things that I'd be part of a mob for. But like 15-year-old me, if there was something like being a crazy like fan on the internet, like 15-year-old me can totally see myself not commenting because I sort of promised myself not to comment, but I can see myself being like, yeah, that person totally deserved the fact that all this like my fellow fans are attacking them for what they did. But like I wouldn't be part of the attacking. Do you get? Because I didn't have balls like that. Not because I didn't want to do it. Because I just didn't want to leave like a trace on the internet showing me as a bad person, even though that was in my head. Like fakeness was already in my head at like 14. Like I didn't want there to be a trace on the internet of me saying something horrible to someone. Like a timestamp that will never disappear. So that was me trying to have a conversation via an untested app, but like we tried and we were able to make like small sense. Basically, we mostly died just adding and talking, and the conversation was with Damola. So like, I don't know, you might hear Damola more often. But he was basically expressing. I was basically trying to get him to agree with me on my opinion on mob mentality. So like, I don't know. We'll probably have a talk about that another time in like the future. But I've talked about like other stuff, and I'm like also starting to ask myself like, which direction is this going to? Or, like, am I going to talk about like a topic and then go on like on tangents, or like properly plan and decide okay, this is because I feel like I want to sit down and read Seneca's letters, then use it to create like a list of stuff that I agree with, I don't agree with, like rather than just following it over like every week and be like, oh, we'll go through this book together and stuff like that. because I always like, especially my tangent seems to be like more interesting to me. That like I want to really want to talk about like beauty or like structure or order, all this stuff. But like those are topics that I think I started like this whole philosophy journey to talk about, because I get very emotional when I want to talk about like, topics that are more important to me. Then that is so like emotional to the extent that it's very difficult for me to like form a believable argument, and it's easy to like overtake like my thought process because I'm so emotional. And that's like one of the things I want to stop, to be able to like spread my thoughts and make it like a compelling argument. That's like one of the really important stuff that I wanted to add, I guess. So like I think that'll be all for today. This is like really scattered, haphazard, but like it's still about trying like new things. This is the third episode. I tried something new. It's sort of flopped, but like I literally have a direction, and knowing that I'm going to continue to try, because that's the main reason I want to like try and upload the stuff, like regardless of how it turns out. It's like I have like an expectation of myself that every Sunday I will upload this. So like looking at clarifying your intentions, because I feel like this like sentence helps, like it goes well with like the note I'm trying to finish this on. Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. It is not activity that disturb people, but false conceptions of the things that drive them mad. I think like this basically is like, do what you want to do because it is what it is, and to always be what it is, I guess. So like you decide what you want to do it. Having an end in mind is no guarantee that you would reach it, but not having an end in mind is a guarantee that you will not reach it, which is scary to me, because I think I want to create like an end in mind, like what I want to do, an end goal or whatever. So like this is all for now. There is rambliness. Bye. Do, 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 do.